So, as Democrats struggle to find a way forward after last November's elections, President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, former, of course, returned to the spotlight this week. The former VP gave her first sit-down interview since her loss to now President Trump, while the former president delivered a dark warning about the state of this country.
We can't sugarcoat this. These are dark days, but you're all here for the same reason. I left that prestigious law firm in the public defender's office to go to the defender's office years ago. It's because our future is literally on the line. Racine doing his best to dismantle the Constitution. Oh, I'm being deadly earnest, man. Reflected in every cruel executive outreach, every rollback of basic freedoms, every erosion of long-standing established precedent.
Maura Gillespie, Blue Stack Strategies founder, joins us now with her reaction to all of that. So the former president says that the current president is trying to dismantle the Constitution. What do you say about that, Maura?
Well, I know that the former president and the former vice president are both coming out with their memoirs, so it makes sense to me that they'd be out on the circuit trying to get back into the limelight to sell some books. And I don't say disparagingly, I understand that's part of their marketing tactic. I've not been shy about my disappointment and frustration with the amount of ego and arrogance coming from both the Biden-Harris administration, but also in the Trump White House. We've seen examples of both. And I think it's really rich, though, for President Biden to talk about, this attack on the Constitution when he himself, and as president, circumvented or abused his powers. Whether it was through having the American people pay for student loans that they didn't take out, or whether it was his walking out exit, giving a blanket, both past and present pardon to his family, especially his son, Hunter Biden. So I think it falls really flat when the American people soundly rejected this moral high ground that the people in the Biden-Harris administration, their inner circle and their supporters took in talking down to the American people. They really missed the mark. And so to me, this just is going to continue to be great fodder for Republicans as they gear up for the 2026 campaigns.
Well, and the investigation into the auto pen situation is really just beginning, but the Constitution doesn't say that, a bunch of staffers in the Oval Office can assume the powers of the presidency. So, if there turns out to be some meat to this story, you could say that the Biden administration was not exactly in line with the Constitution.
Certainly. And, when the auto pen is used for things like autographs or, customary congratulatory letters, things of that nature, because, the president and other high ranking officials have lots of things like that they would want to sign quickly and make sure they can get to many people, right? It's also a souvenir for many people. They frame them. But I think when it comes to massive pieces of legislation or executive orders, things of that nature should have obviously been done by the president himself. But it also just goes back to that question about trust. And when it comes to the Biden-Harris administration, they broke the American people's trust. And so it's hard to say that anyone in that circle will be accepted or well received by the American people at large because of the fact that they broke the trust. We don't know who is making those decisions, and we're still figuring it out. House Oversight is still interviewing people within that circle. Ron Klain did actually answer questions. It's to be seen if people like Anita Dunn next week decide to plead the fifth or actually answer questions that House Oversight Chairman James Comer has for the who is making these decisions. And I do think that we as the American people need to know that, and it may decide how we look at this administration years down the road. Their legacy could very well be very tarnished by these decisions.
We were just watching some video of the former president and vice president on stage. She had an opportunity this week to name the leader of the Democratic Party, and she wouldn't do so. Why?
I think there's two reasons.
Recently, I made the decision that for now, I don't want to go back in the system. I think it's broken. I just don't want to, for now, I don't want to go back in the system. I want to travel the country. I want to listen to people. I want to talk with people. And I don't want it to be transactional where I'm asking for their vote.
All right. So, again, she wouldn't name the leader of the Democrat Party. Why?
So if she named somebody else, then she kind of hurts herself when she does announce that she's going to run in 2028. if she named herself, that would also look bad, considering that she just said she's not going to run for governor of California. So how could then she be the person that's viewed as the leader of the Democratic Party? So I think that's sort of a twofold answer there. She doesn't want to name somebody else and potentially hurt herself for 28, but also she's just trying to really suss out, one, where the supporters are on her side of things, but also, again, like I mentioned before, she is coming out with her book, and she's playing it safe here just to kind of gear up for the 28 run. But I think, again, this is a real disservice to the Democrats who are looking to have some fresh air. They should be looking somewhere else aside from the Biden-Harris inner circle. But it's a grand slam opportunity for Republicans, because this is easy to campaign against. Again, like I said, their campaign of identity politics, gaslighting us into telling the American people things were great when they weren't, and this lack of transparency, that's all things that the Republican Party and candidates who are running against Democrats will be pointing out to the American people and reminding them who is actually listening to them.
Maura Gillespie, BlueStack Strategies. Maura, thanks.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.